Hi everyone, John Phillips here for JPTV with a weekend roundup of news for week number 43. So let's get straight onto the news. As always, as you will know from the previous videos I've been doing about the Gosport War Memorial Hospital scandal, where 450 patients died after being prescribed dangerous dose of painkillers. There's a nurse that's come out who does not wish to be identified. She's come out with a few things by saying, "I suppose I was concerned, but at the same time I was pleased. People seem to be getting more comfortable." That's what nursing is all about, making sure people were comfortable. "I can't say that someone died too soon. I didn't feel we were killing them. I feel looking back, I think, did I do my job properly? I'm sure I did. Are we nurses classed as murderers?" And when she was asked what she would say to relatives of those who died, she said, "I would say I'm sorry if you feel your loved ones have died in this way. I feel sure they were well looked after and we gave them all the care we could. I did my best." Again, there's no apology at all. Now, a lot of people might jump on me saying, "Well, she says she has apologized." No, she hasn't. She would say in the situation, she would say she was sorry. She doesn't say, "I am sorry" to those families. So again, there doesn't appear to be any remorse. It's arrogance from the doctors. I'm sorry, but it is. Doctors, nurses, anybody that goes to medical school or university has an abysmal reaction when they find out they're wrong. They don't apologize. They don't say sorry. I hold my hands up. Every time I make a mistake, I hold my hands up. It's a natural human thing to do. It's arrogant not to apologize when you've done something wrong and say, "Oh, if this happened or that happened." It did happen. You killed these people. Regardless if you thought you were doing it at the time, you killed these people. Now, this next story falls in line with the automotive theme that I've been carrying on, because as you will know from previous videos, I've been doing about BMW's problems. Now, Nissan are in their own world of problems here with this story. Owners of Nissan's new electric Leaf say they were given misleading information about the car before buying it. Last year, Nissan told prospective buyers that using so-called rapid chargers should only take about 40 minutes in moderate driving conditions for an 80% charge. They subsequently changed that to between 40 and 60 minutes. Nissan have admitted that charging times can vary, but denied there was a problem or that any customers were misled. Others are unhappy that the range on a single charge is not as good as the 235 miles or 378 kilometers they were promised. The Advertising Standards Authority is now considering whether to launch an investigation into the issue. As far as I'm concerned, go for it 100% ASA. Nissan have lied to people. It is misleading. If it doesn't matter what they think that there's no problems with it, it's a problem. Yeah. If it had when the adverts were done, if there was a little disclaimer that came out and a little star on the bottom, as you see on a lot of adverts, that these charging times can vary, then they covered themselves. If they didn't, then this is what it's all about. This is Nissan lying to people. I'm not going to mince my words here. It's lies. At the end of the day, if you're not telling people the truth, it's a lie. It's not subjective. It's not perspective. It's not somebody's point of view. It's a lie. Because at the end of the day, if you're telling somebody basically telling somebody that an hour's charge will do an entire journey, and actually saying, no, it's going to take an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half to actually do a full journey, charge batteries, and that you're not getting the full quota of distance that you're supposed to be. This comes back again also to a previous video I did, where there's a chance that 2/3 of electric vehicles are going to be withdrawn because they're not meeting distance requirements for each charge. So this ties in nicely with this, and also is just very, very evident of how much people are being lied to left, right and centre, and how ignorant everybody is, thinking they'll just get away with it. Now, as you'll know from my previous videos I've done in relation to Donald Trump and the tax levy that he was putting on China for the, how was it described as? For the intellectual property rights tax. Now, this is actually spread to Canada in relation to the steel and aluminium industries. Now, there's been a big tax that the White House have put on these companies, and Canada have come out with a statement in relation to it. Canada will not back down in the face of new US tariffs on steel and aluminium, according to the country's foreign minister. Chrystia Freeland spoke as officials unveiled a $2 billion Canadian dollar, or $1.5 billion US, or £1.15 billion package to support the country's steel and aluminium industries. Retaliatory tariffs on 16.6 billion Canadian dollars worth of US products are due to come into effect as of today, the 1st of July. Our approach is we will not see escalate, but equally we will not back down, she said. Basically, at the end of the day, there's more taxes coming in left, right and centre because the American climate and the Canadian climate and the Chinese climate financially is a hurricane. Let's not be too stupid here about it. As John Cleese quite rightly said, there are only 3 countries in the world that are sane, and the rest of it is insane. And he said and he did say that one of them was Amsterdam. You know, he's completely right. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we're still reaping the fallout of the stock market crash of 2006, I think it was. 2006, 7, something like that. You know, this is a long time, and the nation, the country, the planet-wide global economy still hasn't recovered from this. And as a result, you know, this is exactly what's going on here with the taxes. I'm not surprised that Canada aren't saying, you know, we'll only do something that is actually going to please us. And you know, I agree with them 100%, because at the end of the day, they need to look after themselves the same way that the US and we are. But as I say, it's more money for less things. Now, a few days ago, it was reported that Uber, I should say, not Uber, Uber were given a license within London to resume practices as a cab company. Unfortunately, on Saturday morning, this story came out where these teenagers had basically taken an Uber, and, well, this is what the story says. 4 young men died and a teenage girl was critically ill in a collision involving a car and a taxi at the early hours of Saturday morning. The 4 men, aged 18, 19, twice by the looks of it, and 21, died at the scene on the A620 on the Outer Ring Road, West Yorkshire police said. Early indications are that the Seat Leon was travelling at a speed at the time of the collision when it crashed at Horsforth at about 20 to 3 Saturday morning. 2 girls aged 16 and 17, also in the car, were taken to hospital. The Uber driver was also seriously hurt. The 16-year-old remains in a critical condition, and the 17-year-old's injuries are not considered life-threatening, the police force have said. All 6 people that were in the car coming home from the local area, according to police reports. Sergeant Fiona Hoodless said this is a very tragic incident where 4 young men have lost their lives, and 3 other people are in hospital with serious injuries. The families of those involved are devastated by what has happened. The force said that the road between the Featherbank Lane and Stanhope Drive will remain shut for some time, and police are appealing for witnesses. Now, basically, the four young teenagers were pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. Now, there's not much information gone into this in relation to the causes, if the Uber driver was at fault, or the minicab driver driving the Leon was at fault. It'd be interesting to see what comes out here. But at the end of the day, personally, if this was me, I'm shocked that teenagers are getting Ubers at 20 to 3 on a Saturday morning. It shocks me. I am absolutely devastated by this story. Where are the parents? Why couldn't the parents pick them up? Yeah, these are teenagers. Or okay, there's one 21-year-old. But at the end of the day, was somebody drunk driving? Yeah, I don't get it. It's at the end of the day, as I say, for me, when I was at my age, you got your parents to pick you up. It doesn't matter how embarrassing it is. Parents should, I've said it before in previous videos, parents should be looking after their children a lot better, and this is exactly the proof of it. This is lazy parenting. But I'm sorry, but kids should not be getting a minicab at that young age, at that early in the morning. And last but by no means least, I always try to end the video rounds up with a good story, and this is a great one for all nature lovers out there. A small South Pacific island is home to a crow with remarkable abilities that have scientists hooked. New Caledonian crows make and use tools, including a kind of fishing hook. They can solve complex problems and have even been recorded capturing grubs, as we've seen on the relatively new series of Planet Earth and Galapagos and Wildlife on One, when that was on. They've been recorded capturing grubs by repeatedly poking them with a stick until they are so agitated they bite. As I say, we've seen that before. Now, an experiment using a vending machine, it's not really a machine, it's just a box with a hole in it and as a mechanism with inside, so technically it is a machine, specifically designed for crows, has revealed something new about how intelligence evolves. The vending experiment is the latest in an ongoing investigation into these birds' abilities. They are so remarkable that scientists have a special aviary in New Caledonia where they can keep wild birds only for a few days and test their problem-solving prowess before releasing them back into the forest. Now, basically, as I say, this is a great story. It warmed my heart when I saw this, because we've seen birds. They are massively intelligent. As we know, they're descended from dinosaurs. So they've been around a while. They've got the brain capabilities to sort themselves out. For example, where with the story, part of the story there, when they were talking about birds with fishing hooks and taking grubs, basically what you've seen is that if a bird will listen onto a piece of bark and hear if there's a grub inside eating away. If it does, it will nestle its beak to make a hole big enough to get into where the grub is, and will have a stick and will poke and stick the stick in its beak and poke the stick into the hole until the grub bites on it and literally flicks it out and eats it off there. It's a remarkable thing. Now, because for hundreds of years people have thought birds aren't all that bright. All that birds do is sing and shag. That's all birds apparently were known to do. But up until very, very recently, as I say, as we've seen on both series of Planet Earth, as Galapagos as well for that matter, a few other programs, we've seen where birds will use different types of stick, different lengths of stick to get this problem solving. And this is the thing, they've tried it the same thing with this box, where there's a hole in it, and if they prod it at the right place at the right time, a nutritious treat will come out and they will eat it. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. I've been waffling a little bit in this, as I always do. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new around here, please click the subscribe button, which should be up here about now. Please click the notification bell as well. Please also feel free to put your comments on the stories I've talked about, how you feel about teenagers getting Ubers, what you feel about what's been going on at Gosport War Memorial Hospital, and everything else I've talked about. Please feel free to share the video as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.